Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning. Welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. This is the weekend of Springfest.
Yes, it is.
And last week we were grateful to have the Southern Pines Business Association on. And one of the things we talked about in addition to Springfest was the first event, the first social that they did coming out of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It was held at the Encore Center.
Yes.
And if there was a competition, the Encore Center would be kind of nudging into first place in number of appearances on the show and the kind of things that they do.
I agree.
And this, I think, all started with the education director, Jacob Toth, back in September or October of last year, or possibly earlier than that.
Yeah, I got here in August, actually. So Our first show we started right then with 39 steps outside. And we've been rolling ever since.
Well, the story with the Encore Center for me is that we've had the opportunity to have them on the radio show. I got a chance to meet one of my guests, Laura Morgan, who is currently the Miss North Carolina senior contestant for America, but you'll be competing virtually. But I got a chance to witness her in Love Letters back in February. And I say it that way because it was a one-woman show.
No, it was not. Bill was there with her alongside, doing an amazing job.
And I identify myself as her caddy. And I got an
good job you did.
And I got an appreciation for the arts, what it's like to do, because we've had so many kids on, so many students, and the Encore Center. One of the impressions, Laura, that I walked away with from that experience was observing the kids, the dancers, the singers, and the courage that those kids had to get on stage.
Exactly, yeah.
Even in this pandemic with the restrictions that they've had. And one of the other impressions I had about Laura was the way she watched the kids. She watched them as an artist, not like me, as a layman. And she would listen for their cadence or their posture or whatever it was, right? You look at things with a different set of eyes and ears than I possibly could.
I mean, I'm just impressed by everything I've seen.
And Laura also has a background that, I think she could and has been a mentor to children and a teacher that she is able to relate to that and be able to let them know what performing is like, because she's done so much of it herself.
So she has become part of the Encore Center family.
Absolutely.
Becoming, yeah.
One of the
and
faves.
We'll continue.
and we have a guest with us also to my left, Stephen Kane, who is going to be working opposite Laura in the upcoming production Smoke on the Mountain.
Absolutely.
But we talked a little bit a couple of weeks ago. We had the Langfords on. Mm-hmm. They were talking about a lot of the events that they had going forward. You guys are being pretty aggressive in an environment that does not support that.
Absolutely. So they started the Encore Center 2 years ago. It was Sarah's dream. She had actually opened a dance studio over in Cameron, but it's always been her dream to have a theater as well. And so she followed her dream. She made it happen. And then, of course, everything got shut down.
Right.
So it was a little scary, but she brought a team together that we really got together and collaborated and thought outside the box and wanted to make this happen because this is a great area. Moore County needs the arts, especially in this time, because so many people relate to the arts. It makes people happy,
right.
Especially with everything going on. We needed to brighten spirits and get people involved. So now we are pushing hard to become the premier theater in the Moore County area.
Right.
So
you're on your way.
We're trying.
For those of you who are not familiar with it, the Encore Theater was formerly a funeral
The
home.
Powell Funeral Home.
Powell Funeral Home, which has been renovated and restored. Lots of charm. Mike Fields and a partner purchased the building, and the Langfords have been running it ever since. And it's like a petri dish of creativity as you walk in there with the different classrooms.
Absolutely.
And you walk around during the day, and the kids are so hungry to learn, and it's an activity to get their creative juices flowing.
Absolutely.
Which you oversee.
Yeah. So we have the building has been kind of split in two, even though it's all one unit.
Right.
We have the studio side, which has all of our dance classes, acting, singing. We have voice lessons. We have every instrument that you can imagine. We have kinder music for the babies. We have anything that you can think of. And we teach from the age of baby
Right.
until 99.
Right.
We have a senior tap group of ladies that come in and tap every Monday morning that are amazing. And then on the other side, we have our theater, which is our not-for-profit, obviously. And we are trying to promote the arts and get different people in. We promote ourselves as a community theater with a semi-professional side to us. So we want to get the community involved and have different people come in and be a part of it. We look for volunteers, ushers, anyone that wants to come and be a part of something.
Right.
We totally promote that and want that to happen.
Right. So how did you and Stephen hook up? Stephen Kane.
Stephen Kane, well,
I
Well,
want to hear that story.
it actually started before Josh. I was at a
Or
Spring
Jacob.
Fest. Jacob. There's a Josh on the cast.
That's right. It's a big cast. We're going to talk about it.
So I was manning a booth at the Spring Fest in 2019, and next to me was the Encore Center booth, and so I mentioned to Sarah, I was like, "Hey, I've not heard of this. How can I get involved?" And I filled out a little form with my number on it.
Right.
And probably within 2 weeks, I got a call and asked to audition for a part in A Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a fun role. I was the ghost of Christmas Present in The Christmas Carol in 2019.
Okay.
And then I've kept tabs and watched for a show I might be interested in. And this one came up, and it looked like a huge challenge for me. And so that's how I met Jacob, was in the audition, actually.
Yeah, you and I spoke a little bit before the taping of the show, and you were telling me the story about your daughter in Belgium. How old is she now?
She is 17 now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What does she think of her dad stepping out of his comfort zone at the ripe old age of whatever?
yeah. So I'll say that I think I was 50 when I did my first community theater.
Okay.
And one, it was a huge challenge, but two, it was just a lot of fun and kind of a blessing because my daughter and I were on stage together.
Oh.
One scene, it was the king and I. In the last scene where the king is dying, and I was the prime minister, so I'm knelt next to his bed, and it's a tear-jerking, sad moment. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see my daughter, who's playing one of the king's daughter. She's just bubbling with excitement and smiling because she's seeing me act. So I think she's pretty supportive. Although being involved in a production like this requires a lot from the cast and the cast support mechanisms. So the family, right now, she might be rolling her eyes a little bit because she hears me reciting lines through the night and playing the same songs over and over.
But being a good role model.
Maybe,
Is your daughter involved in the arts?
She is, she's in the band at Pinecrest High School,
Okay.
and she also plays piano.
Okay.
The theater's kind of taken a back seat to sports. Now she's lacrosse and marching band, and that fills her days, I think.
That's okay.
Yeah.
the Canes have also been a huge supporter of the theater.
Right.
And it just so happens that Stephen's wife, Lucy, is on our board. So, we have a
Little
great board
nepotism
members.
never hurt.
Well, they still have to have some talent. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's my harshest critic.
So, talking about talent, let's go back to Laura, too, for just a second. Because, Laura, you've been a singer, you've been an actress. This is not your first go-round. And you've maybe been slowed up a little bit by the pandemic. It's a different existence, but you get to keep yourself sharp,
Right.
on point, and the Encore Center is providing a great venue for you. It's a mutual win-win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've done tons of musical theater.
Yep.
And when I was living in Lumberton several years ago, I did something I had, I was in like 14 different productions there.
Yeah.
And, Peter Pan, I was Nellie in South Pacific. I mean, all these great roles. But my first actual musical production was when I was in Evita, and I was 27 years old. So
Right.
I didn't get involved with theater like this,
Right.
musical theater, until I was that age. I did a lot of like little church plays, youth plays, growing up, and sang all my life.
Right.
But as far as actual musical theater, that was my first one. And then my first big role was I was Princess Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress. So that was very... so the gamut has gone between a comedy, kind of thing, and a serious one. And it's just been great fun. But moving here,
Yeah.
and I remember years ago, I don't know when it was, the Sunrise Theater actually had a musical
Really,
theater.
theater, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was so disappointed when I came here because I was anxious to get back into it. I got married and moved to this area, and it was no longer. And so this has opened up a whole new thing. I'm sure it's not going to be the last.
Absolutely
We'll continue
not.
going. So
And I got to hear her voice just a little bit in Love Letters. There was a line where she would have to break into a song, and I heard this, but we could not look at each other. Okay, so I had never done any of that, and it wasn't until I saw the videotape of it that I, number one, realized how good she really was, how bad I really was, and what is involved in, no, I was just myself. She was herself, but when she had to be humorous, or she had to be serious, or she had to be emotional, she pivoted like 6 to 8 times. Me, I stayed in the same position on the basketball court the whole play. This is what I got. And it gave me a great appreciation for what it takes to do that, because I've never done it. And yet I admire all these kids that come on and do it. And she was fantastic.
And that's what we love about the Encore Center, because, as you know, a lot of people that sit in the audience
Right.
just think, oh, look, these people got together one day and threw a show together.
Oh, my
But it
gosh.
takes so much more than that. It
Yeah.
really is a workout, and it really is its own sport, or its own...
it's consuming.
it really
all-consuming.
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
When we come back in the second set, I want to talk more in detail about Smoke on the Mountain, which starts May the 1st. But there's another event starting on April 30th, next week.
Correct.
Charlotte's Web.
Exactly. So what we decided to do right now is to run 2 shows at one time. We're doing what we call a TYA show, which is a theater for young audiences, and that's what Charlotte's Web is. It's only a 45 to 50-minute show. We're promoting it to families, kids, groups. We have homeschool groups coming. If school groups are going out on anything now, we're promoting it to them so that they can come and see actors on stage doing a story that kids read in school. And it's actors that are playing multiple roles. Again, one character is Charlotte, but she's also the mother, and she's also a duck, so they're playing all these different characters. And it's only 6 actors, I believe, 5 actors. And they play all these roles, and it's just a fun little show that kids are going to love. That's going to be running during the morning and afternoons, and then in the evenings we'll turn around and do Smoke on the Mountain.
All right. The Southern Pines Business Association was very complimentary of you guys when they had the business social there. And they talked about some of the students that got up to entertain them
Absolutely.
during that evening. How have the restrictions changed since you did Love Letters in February to today?
Well, the numbers have gone up a little bit. For Love Letters, we were restricted to, I don't even remember how
25.
many, 25 people. Yeah,
Right.
so it was a small group.
Right.
The governor has now made it 50% capacity, which for us, our seats are 161. I'm sorry, our number is 213. So we could go up to just over 100 tickets. We still want to play it safe. So for our show, we're only, for both of these shows, we're only selling 63 tickets. So we're still socially distancing people. We're still making people wear masks to come in.
Okay.
For Charlotte's Web, all of the actors will be wearing masks. For our show, a lot of our cast has been vaccinated, and because it's singing and playing instruments and all of that, we are not going to be wearing masks.
Right.
But again, there's only 7 people in the show, so we're able to stay apart on stage and not be,
Laura, do you remember during Love Letters the some of the singers, the kids who got up to
Oh,
sing,
yeah.
they were wearing masks.
Yeah,
While
exactly.
they were performing. What? How can you? They weren't close to anybody.
Yeah. Well, and
Hard to do.
you know, our church is open back up where I attend, but when you sit, you still have to wear a mask. And at first, I didn't think we were going to be able to sing a hymn, but now we can. But you still have your mask on, and that's hard to take those breaths and everything. Is like that mask sucks in. So I don't know how these kids did it. When I'm at church, I kind of hold my mask a little bit away from my mouth like this. And
Right.
So I'm very amazed that they
And
were
as you
able to
both
sing the
know,
way they did.
Not only singing, but I make those kids dance.
Yeah.
So dancing and then singing with the mask on, you know, it
You
can
can't
be a
breathe as
challenge,
freely.
but you know,
Yeah, you can't breathe
you train
freely.
for it. I make them run around the building a couple times.
We're going to come back in the second set. We're going to talk about Smoke on the Mountain. Whoops. And we're going to continue our conversation with Stephen Kane, with Jacob Toth and Laura Morgan. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to All Things Moore County. Our conversation this whole hour is with the Encore Center and two events that are coming up, starting the 30th of April, Charlotte's Web, and May 1st through May 9th, Smoke on the Mountain. Jacob, from what I could gather, the production of Smoke on the Mountain is involved with a lot of it's much more involved than perhaps Love Letters in terms of the preparation.
Absolutely.
You want to talk a little bit about it? Because
Sure.
you
So
guys-
there's 7 actors in the show.
Right.
3 females and 4 males. All the actors have to sing, act, and play instruments. So we have everything from an upright bass to a banjo to 3 guitars, piano, percussive instruments like
Mandolins. We have
a mandolin, yeah,
tambourines.
percussive tambourine, slapstick,
triangle.
a triangle. There's so many things, and then we have a young lady that we just found. She's 16 years old, local here, who's a fiddle player, and she's playing the fiddle, and it's amazing.
Oh.
So the whole show is country, bluegrass, and gospel. It's set in 1938 here in North Carolina. The family is from Siler City.
Okay.
And
Just outside of
just
Siler City.
outside.
Yeah.
And they're going to a Baptist church to perform on a Saturday night sing-along. So it's all songs that everyone knows, like I'll Fly Away, No Tears in Heaven, so many gospel numbers that you will know and sing along to and clap and stomp your feet to. And it's just a heartfelt, warming story about a family and what they're going through. Everyone gets a moment to do their testifying, like have their moment on stage to talk about where they are in their lives and how they got there. And then we sing songs. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story.
Was Smoke on the Mountain, was it a play on Broadway, off-Broadway, a movie?
It always was. Well, they did a Broadway cast. It kind of ran off Broadway. It was never truly on Broadway.
Okay.
And then it has played all over the country because there's
Right.
this, influx of actors that are musicians that can play this music, and it's just so much fun to play.
Yeah. Steve, the camaraderie amongst the cast. You're getting to know each other, but you get to almost be like family.
Yeah, and I think some of us started out knowing each other already. So, as I mentioned earlier, I was already involved in the Encore Center. When I saw this and that they needed musicians,
Right.
I went to my musician friends, and one of the local musicians that plays often at the Wine Cellar, sometimes at Pinehurst Brewery, Scott Grote, who is a super talented guy. Plays guitar,
so many instruments.
upright bass, mandolin. I mentioned to him, and he's kind of my mentor in guitar playing. So, hey, here's an opportunity.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, Steve, I've never performed. And I said, you perform every weekend on stage. So I'll say that I shanghaied him to join the cast. And then he noticed that was a pretty good technique, and he shanghaied another local musician who is also super talented. He plays piano and upright bass and the accordion. Of course. Yeah.
And he's a preacher.
And he's the preacher. So the three of us knew each other before the cast, and then here in the last 2 weeks, we've really enjoyed getting to know Vera and our two young cast members who are
Both 16.
and humble any skills I think I might have because they're super talented.
Yeah. Okay. The you have actually quite a few performances. May 1st, May 2nd, then the weekend of the 7th and the 8th and the 9th.
Correct.
7:30 evening shows and 2 p.m. matinee on the 8th.
Absolutely. So originally we were going to open the show on April 30th along with Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
But we have a couple actors in the show, younger students that are homeschoolers, and April 30th is their homeschool prom.
Oh.
So we didn't want to take that experience away from them, so we decided to open our show on Saturday, May 1st, which makes us do a Saturday night and a Sunday night show that first weekend. And then the second weekend, we will do our Friday night show, a Saturday matinee, Saturday evening, and then a Sunday evening show as well. So we are doing 6 performances of this, and Charlotte's Web is doing the same, 6 performances, but they open on the 30th.
And the evening show times for Smoke on the Mountain is 7:30.
Actually, yes, all of our shows except for May 8th are at 7:30. May 8th, we do have a 2 o'clock and a 7:30, but every other show is 7:30 p.m.
So unlike the production of Love Letters, it's not a dinner and a show. It's just snacks and a show.
Correct. So we have 2 tickets. You can either purchase the regular ticket for $17, or if you get a VIP ticket, which is $25, it's closer seating. You get a soda, popcorn, or drinking popcorn, I guess I should say.
Right.
So, a little boost to be a little closer and have a little snack. But, of course, we have our vending area, so anyone can purchase, snacks and drinks like that.
Yeah. Laura, the singing has got to be a great addition for you. I mean, you
It
love to
is.
sing.
Oh, I love to sing. And this is a different type singing.
Have you ever done it before? Bluegrass?
Bluegrass, no. I mean, I really haven't. I mean, I've sung hymns, a lot of these hymns in church growing up, but they weren't sung like this. They
Right.
were sung with a basic, traditional organ or piano. But to give it more of a bluesy feel, this is, my husband's like, you're going to come out Miss Dolly Parton or something. I mean, because it is a whole different genre of music for me. But I've really enjoyed it. You just really feel it. And
it's fun seeing all the different things that people do. Because as you know, when I first met Laura, we were doing a play.
Right.
So I knew Laura as being able to talk.
Right.
And this time around, I get to hear her play the piano. And
Right.
I get to hear her sing. And so next time I'm going to have her dancing her way. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Well, you also get to be a role model and a mentor towards some of the younger the students. What's the age group of the cast?
Of our cast?
Yeah.
The 2 youngest are 16. Both of them are 16.
Okay.
And then I don't want to say who the oldest is, but we do have more senior members of the cast as well.
Okay. The Encore Center was voted Best of the Pines, Best Dance Studio, Best Summer Camp, and Best Professional Performing Arts Company.
We're very proud of all of those.
The Langfords, I guess since 2019, they've made a lot of strides
Absolutely.
in an economy that does not make that appear to be possible. Your ticket prices are very reasonable.
Absolutely.
It's almost like a not-for-profit.
It truly is. I mean, our theater side is not-for-profit. Our studio is for-profit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Our studio side does support the theater side. We are trying to get it to a place where the theater can support itself. But in these times, it is challenging. We do, as you know, try to think outside the box and try to do things that right now we're focusing on titles that really make people want to come to see the show. We just revealed our next season. We're heading into our 3rd season, and we just revealed all of those shows. We're opening with Steel Magnolias, which, is a title that I hope everyone will come and see. So we're trying to do shows that people will want to see and get them there.
So let's go back to Steel Magnolias
Yes.
for a second. I think I told you the story. I saw the show off Broadway 9 times.
Right.
At the Lucille Lortel Theater.
Absolutely.
Way before it was a movie.
Yep.
Will the play be shot just in the
salon?
Just in the salon.
Yep. There's no men in the show. Exactly.
And you know why? Because in the movie, after Steel Magnolias hit it so big, all you knew about the men, the spouses, the boyfriends, all the dysfunction, was what the women said. But in the movie, they cast characters and they took the play outside into the world, and nothing was left to the imagination. And that was one of the charms
Absolutely.
of Steel Magnolias.
Yeah. So having it just be in the salon and just hear these women talk and their relationships with one another just make it so funny and so fun. And it's a cast of characters that are
So
amazing.
I didn't realize the play was before the movie.
Oh, the play
yes.
Really?
was before the movie.
Wow.
And I have a picture, I'll show it to you, of the original cast. And they told me the night they heard the movie was going to be cast, who the Hollywood actresses were going to be. And to every one of them, I could see why. I know who Malin can be.
Really?
I know.
Anyone in particular?
Somebody very specific.
Yes.
Who would be perfect as Malin, which would be the mother. Mm-hmm. And
The Sally Field role in the movie.
The Sally Field, that's exactly right. If you need to talk to me about it later, I'll let you know.
Please do.
And it could be someone at this table.
I like it.
Maybe. It would be
Steve.
perfect. I don't
A
think
lot of things on stage, that's beyond my skill.
Okay.
And it's another show, kind of like Smoke on the Mountain. The women have to do hair on stage. They have to actually prepare hair. So
Wow.
that Dolly Parton role, that girl, Truvy, she better be ready.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be part of the
I don't
audition.
think I've
as a
ever
matter
seen
of
the
fact.
play.
When is that going to be? Steel Magnolias.
That will be our first show of the season. So that will be around that August, September time.
Great.
So we will rehearse in August. It'll open like around the end of August and 1st of September.
Okay. Specifics. For the show, starting May 1st, 7:30 evening shows on the 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th, and 9th, and a matinee on the 8th at 2 o'clock. General admission is $17.50. Obviously, you're not going to have it set up as tables like you did. It's going to be
Well, so it's
rows.
a little of both. So we put some of our pews back in, but we took the pews out, so there's space there. And then in the front, down on the carpeted area near the stage, is where we are going to have tables and chairs for our VIP section.
Okay. All right. And we're going to come back in the third set. We're going to talk a little bit more about the preparation for Smoke on the Mountain. Love to talk a little bit about the progress you're making with some of your classes and the students. because
Absolutely.
I did notice after Love Letters, a lot of friends contacted me where they wanted to get their children involved.
Perfect.
And I guess there's such a need for the kids outside of the school system to be able to have a facility like the Encore Center.
Yeah, there's not a lot of arts in the school anymore. And really, we help promote, public speaking, looking at people in the eye,
Right.
Being able to get up and be confident. And so
Right.
that's really our main focus with our team. So I'd love to talk more about that.
Okay, we'll be back in the third set. This is All Things More County. Welcome back to our final set of All Things More County. We're a week away from two shows that will be featured at the Encore Center starting April the 30th, Charlotte's Web through the 9th of May, and Smoke on the Mountain from the 1st of May through the 9th of May. Tickets can be had at the Encore Center, 910-725-0603, or you can go to the encorecenter.net. Restrictions have been lifted a little bit, and yet the Encore Center is still taking the route of caution. I think you're going to be permitting about 60 people per show.
Yeah, technically 63 tickets will be sold for every show.
Okay. And the Encore Center, for those who don't know, is located right across the street from O'Donoghue's, right up from Ashton's at 160 East New Hampshire Avenue in downtown Southern Pines. Of all the towns in North Carolina that would have local theater, Southern Pines, you would think that there would have been something here before this.
Absolutely. And I think, I'm not from here. I'm a transplant from the north.
Can't tell.
Can't tell at all.
No.
But I think many years ago there was, and I don't know that they ever really made it, So Sarah and Brandon had this great vision, and we're going to make it happen. We're heading into our third season, so we're doing it.
The Langfords have a daughter that I took a video or two of. She was one of the singers during Love
Their
Letter.
oldest daughter, Josie.
Josie, right. And now I guess she has a new younger baby brother who's just born.
Yes, Bo was just born.
Okay.
Oh.
So now the Langfords will be working, both of them, full-time. She's not
Well,
taking maternity
there's
leave,
5
is she?
children in all.
Okay.
So Bo was their 5th. So yes, we slowly but surely are putting all of them to work in our theater.
Truly a family affair.
Exactly.
This is your first big foray into the spring season.
Absolutely.
This is going to be an indoor event.
This is. Originally, we were going to have an outdoor event, but because of the restrictions being lifted and things happening, we thought, let's go inside
Right.
And do it in our theater where it's supposed to be done. So we are inside, and I think it's going to be good for our show in particular because of all the instruments and the singing, and it's just nice to have that resonant of the theater. It just makes it a lot of fun.
The amount of preparation is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Timing and
I try to make it as little as possible, but yes, you do have to prepare a lot.
So you guys are been doing this since April the 5th. So by the time you roll around to May the 1st, it almost would be like a lifetime has gone by.
Oh, yeah. Ask my husband how well he knows the music.
Is that right?
I play it constantly.
There are
like Steve said.
24 songs.
That's crazy.
And prior to this, as I'm trying to pick up guitar and singing, it would take me about 2 weeks to learn one song well enough to be comfortable playing it. Now we have 4 weeks to do 24 songs. It's kind of Mount Everest and then some.
So Becky Podlagar, who is the stage manager, who is spot on, point on about where you stand, what you do, how you look. It sounds like it's much more involved than the soliloquy of Love Letters, where there's a lot of motion and movement.
Yeah, I think the addition of being musicians and vocalists and actors at the same time.
Crazy.
Where Becky's awesome and really is probably the glue that holds us together.
Absolutely. She makes it all happen.
But there is the music side of it, which Scott Grote, who I mentioned earlier, is our music director and performer.
Uh-huh.
And so it adds that third level of complexity, which I think makes it more fun in its challenge.
So this rehearsal process was a little different. We spent our whole first week. It was a spring break time around here. So that whole first week, we just spent playing together because I brought 7 people together that really didn't know each other. 3 of them kind of knew each other, but didn't play together all that much. I literally brought 7 people together that have never really met.
Right.
And I have to make them sound like a family that have been performing together for years.
Right.
So our whole first week was just music. We played song after song after song and figured out who was singing what, who was playing what rhythm, how were we going to lead into the song, how were we going to end the song. So we had that great opportunity to just do that for a whole week. And then the second week, we started adding some lines and some blocking. And as you know, Bill, it's layers, and you add more and more and more until you finally get to that opening night.
Yeah. For those people who have not been to the Encore Center, who are thinking about taking one of the shows in, I will tell you that there's something unspoken about that place, and there's a camaraderie there that people enjoy being there. They might not know each other, but it's an intimate setting. People will step across the aisle and talk, and it becomes a gathering place. And it's better to, words are hard to describe it. You just have to be there to feel it. And being located in downtown Southern Pines is its perfect landing spot.
Perfect location.
Right.
You can go have dinner at so many places right there across the street, just up the block, and then come see a show. And I have to say, what you were talking about really comes from the top, because Brandon and Sarah have made it such a environment where we all collaborate.
Right.
And then that transpires to the people that we work with. And we just, I've told the actors on the first day, I don't have all the answers. If you guys feel something, please tell me what you want to do. And sometimes I'll let you do it, and sometimes I won't. But it is a collaborative effort. Theater takes a village, so
It really does. Hey, I want to ask you a couple of questions,
Yes,
if I
sir.
can, about the Encore Center and some of the things that you're doing. For instance, you have auditions coming up for next season.
We do. So our next season starts in August. And so July 17th, we are going to be having auditions for all of our shows. This is the first time that we're doing it this way. We used to do it each show. We would have an audition right before the show. This time we're doing what we call a season audition. July 17th, you come in and you're going to do an audition that will cover all 5 shows of our season, as well as any teens that want to come in and audition for our Encore Teen Ensemble. Those auditions are the same day. We are looking for anyone from age 13 to 18 to come be part of the Encore Teen Ensemble. We go around and perform. We're performing at Springfest. We'll have 11 o'clock and a 1 o'clock performance today for a half hour.
As we speak.
Exactly. And so we're singing and dancing and having a great time. And again, teaching these kids how to talk to people, how to look people in the eye, how to get up and say their name into a mic and sing a song. So it's a great opportunity for everyone. So July 17th, put it out on your calendars and come down to the Encore Center and audition.
Okay. You are the education director
That is
at the
correct.
center. So you oversee many different types of classes.
Correct.
And many different age groups of kids.
All age groups. And anything from, we have homeschool activities, because homeschoolers, as you know, have to fill an art credit. So we have times that we have homeschool kids throughout the day to learn different eras of theater, of music, of dance. And then we have all of our classes, which again, we have tiny tots learning ballet and tap. And then we have our, intermediate students. And then we have our advanced students that are on point, girls that are up on their toes dancing. And we have the full gamut of everything. So you want to get involved, just find out. We have it, I promise.
Is one of the most reassuring things and one of the most gratifying things that you as a director can see is where a child's self-esteem blossoms
Absolutely.
in front of you.
Yeah.
From a low point to wherever.
Absolutely. I'm proud of all of our shows. I'm proud of all of our classes. But I have to say my teen ensemble is what fills my heart, because those kids,
Right.
amaze me every day. And I make them go out and find songs that they want to sing, and then I have them come into rehearsal and they have to perform it in front of all of their peers, which is one of the hardest things to do. And these kids are amazing.
Yeah.
And so I love to take them out into the community. We perform for free. Anyone that wants us to come, if you have an organization or event that's happening, just call us. I will bring the kids. We will do anything from a half hour to an hour long show. There is no fee. We take donations, but there is no fee. We will come to you and be a part of it.
All right. For parents who might be listening, who might want to be introduced to the Encore Center, can you give them just some of the parameters of some of the classes and the prices? And
Absolutely. So tuition for most of our classes are $56 per month, and that is once a week. All classes meet once a week. We have ballet from ages 2 and up, tap from ages 3 and up, jazz 6 and up. We have Irish dance, hip hop, contemporary, theater classes. You can do acting, which is mostly for plays, just doing the acting. Then we have our musical theater side, which I teach those classes, and we do singing, acting, and dancing. I bring my Broadway experience down, and I teach these kids the Broadway choreography to a show, and we just have a great time with it. It's just little snippets, but it gives them an idea of how to audition, how to get up in front of a director and what you do, how you look them in the eye, and all of that stuff. We have private music lessons that we have amazing teachers that can teach them. One of the things we're most proud of is our string teachers. We have a whole camp this summer that is just string. So we have a whole string orchestra that we put together and they play, and these kids sound amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said, the homeschool immersion program where they come and spend the day, and we have Joshua Anderson is one of our teachers for that, and he has art classes and music, and they do dance, and we do so many things with them. We do special events. We have tea parties with Miss North Carolina. We have different birthday parties, we just had a dance with Daddy-Daughter Dance, which had an under the sea feel to it. So we do so many things there, and you just have to go to encorecenter.net to find out more.
Steve, he's mentioned a couple of times about getting the kids to make eye contact. I didn't realize until just now I had drama classes at a very young age, because I had mastered the art of shrugging my shoulders and grunting. And all my father did was hit me in the back of the head and said, "Look up to that person." Boom. I got hit in the head enough times. I learned eye contact. I didn't realize
there's
it was
no
drama.
hitting at the Encore Center.
Yeah, so the theater's a bit more subtle way to develop that skill.
Right. Well, I admire the kids, the courage, and what the arts do. What the arts does is no different than what the sports teams do for kids, girls and boys growing up, where self-esteem is the byproduct of discipline and some measured success.
Yeah, they really are athletes, because you
Right.
have to train to do what we do. None of us have just, Bill Sahadi's talented that he can just come and do it. But the rest of us have to train for all of this. So it does take years of training and classes and working out and being able to sing and play an instrument at the same time.
Right.
It's a lot.
May 1st to 9th is Smoke on the Mountain. 6 shows?
6 shows.
Crazy. It's a lot of work. And Charlotte's Web, April 30th through May 9th. Same
Also
number of
6 shows,
shows?
yeah.
That's crazy. The ticket prices are very reasonable. People can go to the encorecenter.net.
And buy tickets right there.
They can buy tickets right there. And this is a great time of the year to get out and to discover the Encore Center for the first time. And hopefully, half your audience will not just be repeat people, but
Get some new blood in there.
get
Yes.
some new blood in there.
Come and see us. A lot of people still don't know about us.
Right.
New. This is only our 2nd season.
Well, today you're going to have some exposure.
Absolutely.
The marketing of something like the Encore Center through osmosis, you have to just be consistent and get that
out there.
message, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you would know. I mean, that's
That's
what
how
you
I
do.
discovered it, was a presence at Springfest a couple of years ago.
Right. And it doesn't go away. It doesn't fade. Yeah, it's one of the coolest parts of downtown Southern Pines.
Absolutely.
It's a great addition. You're a great addition.
Oh, thank you.
You're a great actress and a very talented singer and a nice lady. And
Thank
Steve,
you.
it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'll look forward to seeing the play in a couple of weeks.
You better be there.
The Encore Center is a great addition to town. I hope you all can get out, and they'll have a lot going on this year. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
This is All Things Moore County. Yeah, have a great week. Thank you.
You too.